podcast. I'm your host, Khadija Safdar, founder of Save Our Mother Earth. Today, we have a deeply insightful discussion ahead on the topic of decolonization in Palestine. I'm excited to welcome our guest, Ikra Fatima, a passionate advocate for the Palestinian cause and who has actively been involved in raising awareness about the Israeli Palestinian conflict through various platforms. So, Ikra, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Khatija.
All right.
So,
So, um, to start, Ikra, could you tell us a bit about your work and what drives you towards this passion for this issue?
all right, first of all, Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Ikra Fatma, and I'm an O-level student at Bahia Town School and College. A 15-year-old teenager have dreams like everyone else. Moreover, I'm serving as the president of BTSC Immune Society at my school. And last year, I was the president for Student Life Organization. And currently, I serve as the vice president and the Inayat, which is a non-governmental organization. Also, I'm serving as the vice president and Pantra High, which is a youth-led magazine.
That's fascinating. So, moving on to the historical context. So, Ikra, can you provide us an overview of the key events on the Israeli Palestinian conflict since 1948?
All right, so history and the conflict, starting from the beginning. So the Israel-Palestine conflict began in the earliest in the 1948 when Israel declared independence, leading to the first Arab-Israeli war. Key events include the 1967 Six-Day War, where Israel occupied the West Bank, Gaza, and the East Jerusalem. The 1987 to 1993, the first Intifada, a Palestinian uprising, and the 2000 to 2005, which led to the second one, marked by the intense violence. Then in 2005, Israeli forces withdrawal from Gaza, followed by Hamas control over the area in 2007, creating a split with the Fatah-led West Bank. The major conflict then continued with the intermittent peace efforts and the normalization agreements between the Israeli and some Arab states. But the core issues still remain unsolved, and we can see the destruction that is happening in Gaza right now.
All right. So, understanding the history is crucial for grasping the current situation. In that case, what can you tell us about the current situation, especially in light of recent events since October 7, 2023?
All right, so basically the current situation in Gaza, first of all, let's talk about the violence, casualties, and then the humanitarian crisis. So the Israeli military actions in Gaza, including the airstrikes and the ground operations, have led to significant casualties and widespread destruction. Talking about the humanitarian crisis, the conflict has caused severe shortage of food, medicine, and clean water in Gaza. Over 200,000 Palestinians have been displaced within the region, living under the increasingly dire conditions. Moreover, more than 50,000 Palestinians have been killed, with thousands more than injured. And significant destruction of homes and infrastructure in Gaza has been reported. And all these reports are really authentic by Al Jazeera. Now, talking about the major events. So, let's talk about, first of all, the October 7, 2023. Large-scale rocket attacks from Gaza into southern Israel triggered a severe Israeli military response, escalating the conflict. Then November 2023, international efforts to mediate a ceasefire faced challenges with pauses in violence for humanitarian aid. Now, this was just like a reason you create, to stop the humanitarian aid, but this was all like entire on the violence. Moreover, talking about December 2023, when a temporary ceasefire allowed limited humanitarian aid to enter Gaza. But the truce was fragile and frequently violated. Now, let's just talk about the early 2024. Renewed peace talks involving international mediators, including the US, Egypt, and Qatar, aimed at addressing the ongoing violence and humanitarian issues, but a comprehensive agreement remained elusive. Like, there is still a need of a ceasefire and still a need of a authentic agreement or authentic article to be passed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it is just like you mentioned, there have been more than 50,000 casualties, and most of them are not just Hamas soldiers, most of them are women and children. So that is something that is deeply, deeply troubling. So how do you think have celebrities and political agendas and groups like Hamas and the IDF influenced the current state of affairs?
So, talking about the celebrities' response, like celebrities have voiced strong opinions on social media, with some supporting Palestinians and calling for an end to the violence, while others backed Israel's side for self-defense. Responses have like sparked debate and
That's true.
controversy. Then, like if we talk about the role of Hamas and the Israeli Defense Forces, first off, Hamas, the militant group in Gaza, has launched rocket attacks into Israel, escalating the conflict and challenging Israeli policies. Now, it is divided into Hamas and those innocent people in Gaza. But we like innocent people in Gaza are being killed, like especially the children's. Like, how can you claim that those children are the parts of those militant
Yeah,
group, right? How those 5-year-old children who has been bombed in Gaza is the part of that group which is
exactly.
bombing in Israel, right? Then talking about the Israeli Defense Forces. So, Israeli Defense Forces carry out military operations in Gaza, targeting Hamas and other groups, aiming to protect Israeli civilians, but facing criticism for civilian casualties and destruction.
All right. Turning
So,
to you, haha, yeah, Ikra, continue.
yeah, so like let's talk about the political agendas as well, because it's really important to address such things too. So let's just divide our agendas into 3 parts. First of all, the Western government. So the US and European Union (EU) support Israel's right to self-defense, but call for the like humanitarian access. They emphasize the need of a renewed peace and negotiations. Moreover, let's talk about the Middle Eastern states like Egypt and Qatar are mediating and providing aid, like countries like Iran and Turkey are strongly support Palestinians and criticize the Israeli actions, which I really appreciate. Every Muslim should appreciate, and every person should appreciate who at least have humanity left in them. Then let's talk about the international organizations. So the United Nations advocates for ceasefire and humanitarian aid, focusing on protecting civilians and addressing the crisis.
All right. So, turning to your work, Ikra, what can you tell us about? Because we've heard that that you've been working with several, non-governmental organizations and that you have, been vocal about this issue. So, can you tell us about your efforts and the efforts of those organizations in raising awareness and in supporting Palestine?
So, first of all, living in Pakistan, has profoundly shaped my understanding of social welfare, exposing me to intricate challenges and opportunities within the community. And as living in Pakistan and being a Pakistani, you can clearly relate what I mean by challenges. Then my efforts in social welfare have been deeply informed by these experiences, teaching me the importance of empathy, effective communication, and community engagement. Moreover, participating in the Model United Nations (MUN) has further honored these skills, emphasizing diplomacy, negotiations, and the ability to represent a diverse perspective. Together, these experiences have like equipped me with a unique blend of practical and strategic insights, allowing me to approach social issues with both grounded understanding and a very positive mindset.
All right, that is amazing. So, on a personal note, Ikra, what are some of your leisure activities and travel experiences that have impacted you?
Travel experiences, not really. I just traveled like in my summer vacations once to the, you know, hill stations. Like recently I visited Malam Jabba. Though I had like to state that if you're living in Lahore and having that habit of eating spicy foods, you
Hmm.
cannot survive there
Yeah,
at all. It'll be very
true.
difficult for you.
Yeah, I can
Then
agree
my
with that.
experiences, dude, I don't have like special hobbies because I'm always busy. Yeah, so I do not have like hobbies, but most of the times I'm busy with the work and have to do the studies, and then I'm working with the NGOs, to have like a lot of stuff going on at the same time.
Hmm.
And then living in a joint family systems keep me engaged in the family activities as well at the same time.
All right. So, how do you think, Ikra, social media can drive significant change and awareness regarding the Palestinian cause?
All right, so social media. So social media can be used positively, okay? So first of all, fast information spread. Social media quickly, disseminates the news and mobilizes the global support. Then the grassroots organizing, like it connects the activists like you and enables the coordinated actions and the protests. Then the public accountability, it exposes, the injustices and the pressure which the authorities to respond. Like as how we are aware about all the atrocities and casualties carried out in Palestine through the social media, through those journalists who are posting on Instagram frequently, like at the certain time when they have access to the internet, since we know how miserable condition there is in Palestine.
All right. So I want to ask you something that I, just thought of. Okay, it's been like almost a year, and most of the people who are silent, okay, and most of the celebrities that I once liked, and the writers that are, that I once loved and whom I don't anymore just because they have stayed silent. And one of the people who have been really, vocal about it is Fatima Bhutto, who's I don't know if you know her, but she's a she belongs to a political family of Pakistan from Sindh, but she is a writer, she is an activist and a feminist. That's what I love about her. And despite all of that, what she says is that how can one claim to be a human, not even a humanitarian, a human, when they see that thousands of children have been killed in Gaza, and and women who claim themselves to be feminists are silent on how women have been deprived of their rights in Gaza. And even if it was a war, and you know, there have been war crimes committed during that, and women and children, like always, they have no, you know, but they don't need to have any stake in that. But yet they have suffered even more than the Hamas and the soldiers who have been those whom are referred to as terrorists, all right, by Israel, by the US. And UN, always, whatever happens, in any part of the world, and in Africa, in just like in Balochistan, what happened 2 years ago, the floods, they have, always been very, they have, in any case of emergency, they have played a quick part in relief and emergency, in providing support to the countries or just, on states that have been stricken by any natural disaster or any such problem like poverty, unemployment, women rights deprivation and stuff. So why do you think UN is still silent on, this issue? Why do you think that is the case?
Acha, so right now we're talking about the global affairs and the actions in short. So first of all, like United Nations, the UN has called for like immediate ceasefire and increase humanitarian aid to
Mhm.
access at times. Like the past articles, it get vetoed and then like there's no further progress on that, right? So efforts to to broker peace have been ongoing but like faced significant hurdles. This is because of United States, in my point of view. Maybe this will be like a very personal opinion, but this is what I believe. Now it's not just if when we're talking about global affairs and actions, it's not just about United Nations. It's about European Union, it's about US, it's about the regional actors, it's about the international community as well. So if we talk about European Union like and US, like both have expressed like support for Israel right to self-defense, which is something disgusting, while urging for the restraint they have also, advocated for humanitarian assistance and, a return to negotiations. Then, if we talk about the regional actors, specifically Egypt and Qatar have been active in mediating and providing humanitarian aid. Iran and some other regional actors have, voiced strong support for the Palestinian cause. Then, if we talk about the international community, so there have been widespread international calls to end the violence and a renewed focus on achieving a sustainable peace solution. Humanitarian organizations are working to address the urgent needs of affected populations. And we are trying hard, even if we are not there in Palestine, like you being an activist are conducting such podcasts to raise awareness. So I believe that being a human being, like it's not about being a Muslim, it's about being a
Hmm.
human being. If you have like
Exactly.
a little bit humanity left inside you, do raise awareness. Even if people, I have heard usually people saying that dude मैं post कर भी लूँ तो मेरा account कौन सा
Yeah,
public है, they're just certain
exactly.
people जो
Yeah.
देख रहे हैं. at least if you're even living in a house, you do not use phone but you're aware about the hostilities and the casualties which are being carried there in Palestine, at least जो लोग आपके इर्द गिर्द हैं उनके अंदर ही ये awareness raise करो. Tell them about them. Tell them the people who cannot use mobile phones, like tell your grandparents. They should be
Yeah.
aware about this too.
Yeah. All right. So, Ikra, one thing that has been troubling me, we look up to the West, and like most of the times, even our like culture will slowly, diminish hota ja raha hai, because most of the people they are Americanized, Westernized, influenced by their culture, their pop industry, like everything about them. The way they dress up, उनके जो खाने होते हैं, उनके traditions हैं, उनके customs हैं, everything. And on the other hand, we see Biden को देख लें आप यूएस में, इतनी बड़ी एक अमेरिकन सिविलाइजेशन है जिसको वो हेड कर रहे हैं, बट एट वन हैंड ही सेज कि आई एम अ प्राउड जायनिस्ट, एट द अदर हैंड ही इज स्टिल सप्लाइंग आर्म्स टू इजराइल. तो डू यू थिंक वेस्ट इज समथिंग दैट वी शुड रियली look up to now, मतलब after what has happened? पहले की बात डिफरेंट थी, it was an inspiration, Hollywood and stuff. अब हमें do we really need to look up to it? और अब उनका जो एक उनका एक जो चेहरा है, the the hideous face that has been exposed, so should we do it?
Acha, this is something which is based on personal opinions. Now, if we see, जो Western education है वो पाकिस्तान में दी जा रही है. अब हम जिस तरह पास्ट में हुआ था, सर सैयद अहमद खान was the one जिनने पाकिस्तान में like in सब कॉन्टिनेंट में awareness raise की थी इस बारे में. So I believe it is all based on the personal opinions, because they are not forcing us or imposing these things on us. Like we are educated, alhamdulillah, so we should be aware कि what kind of like कितनी limit तक sense of patriotism हमारे अंदर बाकी रहनी चाहिए. But I believe in Pakistan this is very less, and we are like mostly focused on following their culture, the way they dress, the way they carry out the festivals and like all of that stuff. So that thing is really developing in Pakistan now. So I believe it's all based upon our personal opinion to how do we approach it. It's just about the influence. Okay, they have influenced a lot about it, and now this is like in our minds ki, like we have to be like them. It will be, if we will like imitate them, we will be recognized and we will be influential as well. We like look up them as very high and we like look down to us. So I believe it's just, we need to raise awareness. There's lack of education on this topic, and then, it's all about the personal opinions, because हम एक ही घर में रह रहे होते हैं, हम दो बहन भाई भी होते हैं, they don't even have like the same mindset, even though उनकी primary socialization and like is totally same. Like if we do not talk about the secondary socialization, their primary socialization is like totally same. So I believe it's all about the mindsets, and all a person can do, all a nation can do is influence you. But how you take that influence, it depends on you.
All right. One last thing, Ikra, I've talked to a lot of people, and I myself am, following the boycott movement, and a lot of people have varying opinions on that. What they say is कि boycott से कोई फायदा नहीं होगा, like it's useless. वो जो है, it's not just, सिर्फ मुस्लिम countries अगर उनसे ना भी कुछ खरीदे, तो मुस्लिम countries से ज़्यादा वो countries हैं जो उनसे इसराइल से, even यूएस से भी, they have been, उनके जो main imports हैं वो इसराइल से यूएस से आ रहे हैं. तो even if we do something, उसका इतना फायदा नहीं होगा. And उनकी बात ठीक है, वो दे से इसके मुसलमानों को अपनी खुद ही अपनी जिस तरह फेसबुक है, इट्स एंड इंस्टा है, मेटा, it's owned by Mark Zuckerberg, who is a Jew, and it's owned by American, even not a Jew, मतलब अमेरिकन, ठीक है. और उनका जो मतलब वेस्टर्न जो लोग है, सिलिकॉन वैली जो है वो वहाँ है यूएस में, ठीक है. व्हाट दे से इसके आप अपना खुद ही आप देखें क्या करते हैं कि यू कैन नॉट बायकॉट यूट्यूब. अगर दैट कैन हैव अ बिग इम्पैक्ट, यूट्यूब करें, मेटा करें, यू कैन बायकॉट दैट, इससे उनको नुकसान होगा, दैट इज ट्रू. बट उससे आप ये भी तो देखें कि पाकिस्तान में इतने लोगों का जो फ्रीलांसिंग का काम है, यूट्यूब चैनल जिससे वो अर्न कर रहे हैं, दैट इज नॉट द राइट वे. आप अपना खुद ही एक प्लेटफॉर्म्स बनाएं, इंस्टा अपना आप खुद एक जनरेट करें, अपने खुद चैट जीपीटी जैसे एआई प्लेटफॉर्म्स बनाएं. तो वो उनकी बात ठीक है, बट दैट्स अ लॉन्ग टर्म थिंग. डू यू थिंक बॉयकॉट वाली जो चीज़ है, वी शुड फॉलो दैट एज वेल? उससे कोई इम्पैक्ट हो रहा है कि नहीं? क्योंकि व्हाट आई कुछ दिनों पहले व्हाट आई सॉ वाज कि मैकडोनल्ड्स की जो है एक ब्रांच इट वाज क्लोज डाउन, फिर ये जो स्टारबक्स था तो उसका जो सीईओ ही स्टेप डाउन, फाइनली उसने रिजाइन कर दिया क्योंकि सेल्स हैव बीन फॉलोइंग रियली बैड फॉर द पास्ट फ्यू मंथ्स. तो इज दैट लाइक इवन इफेक्टिव?
So I'll start with a quote. So Helen Keller once said that alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. So I guess this says it all. Now there I have heard like two perspectives. सबसे पहला जिसको मैं support करती हूँ कि like as a person being a teenager अब मैं पैलेस्टाइन के अंदर जाके जंग नहीं लड़ सकती,
बिल्कुल.
राइट, बट ऑल आई कैन डू सिटिंग एट होम. अगर मुझे पता है बायकॉट हो सकता है, अब मैं हर चीज़ बायकॉट नहीं कर सकती बिकॉज देयर आर नो लाइक ऑल्टरनेटिव्स अवेलेबल, बट इफ आई नो देयर आर ऑल्टरनेटिव्स अवेलेबल तो एटलीस्ट अल्लाह को राजी करने के लिए, या अगर आपके अंदर थोड़ी सी ह्यूमैनिटी बाकी है तो लाइक ट्राई जितना आप कर सकते हो. आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि एक दिन में मौलाना तारिक जमील बन जाओ और बस जाके वहाँ जंग लड़ो एंड स्टफ, यू नो.
बिल्कुल. हाँ.
It's
यू
yeah, it's just like do as much as you can, like थोड़ा सा भी करो, ठीक है. But then there's another perspective which is kind of valid too, कि ये तो पाकिस्तान के फ्रेंचाइज है, यहाँ पे लोगों की नौकरियां चली
हाँ.
जाएंगी, वो तो यहाँ
बिल्कुल.
पे काम करते हैं. Yeah, that's another perspective. So this is what I am saying. Try to do little, like थोड़ा सा करो. It's not like कि आपने बहुत hype create करनी है or something. You know, ban the products. अब just it's not कि आपने उन जगहों पे नहीं जाना, hotels पे, restaurants पे नहीं जाना. Ban the specific product. For example, हम कोई सोप यूज करते हैं, वो वहां से आता है, इम्पोर्ट होके आता है, तो हम कहेंगे कि हम चलो इसका बायकॉट कर लेते हैं, हम इसका कोई ऑल्टरनेटिव यूज कर लेते हैं. तो लाइक डू एज मच एज यू कैन. इट्स नॉट लाइक यू हैव टू डू समथिंग वेरी बिग.
Mm-hmm. All right. So that's all, I guess. And thank you so much, Ikra, for sharing your insights and experiences with us today. Your work and perspectives are truly, invaluable. And yeah, and do you have anything to say for the youth of Pakistan right now about not just about the conflict, about about social awareness? Because you yourself are, I believe, an excellent activist. ठीक है, तो आपकी बाकी पाकिस्तान की जो youth है उनके लिए क्या पैगाम है if they want to raise awareness, if they want to bring about a real change?
So, first of all, thank you so much, Khatija, for having me. Then, for the youth, I just like to say, guys, chase your dreams. Everything else can wait, but you have to chase your dreams. Focus on your studies.
Mhm.
Other than that, do like it's not कि अगर पढ़ाई में घुस जाना है तो बस पढ़ाई पे ही focus करना है. There
बिल्कुल.
is a lot other things going around you. Do that. Do internships because उससे आपकी एक personal development होती है. ठीक है, आपका mindset change होता है. And specifically in your teenage years, your mind and your mindset is like being developed, which is gonna stay there for the rest of your life. So I believe that you guys have to take such initiatives for a better future generation.
Okay. Before we wrap up, I'd like to remind our listeners about the efforts of Save Our Mother Earth. We're dedicated to raising awareness through online campaigns, organizing fundraisers for humanitarian aid in Palestine, and producing insightful podcasts to engage with crucial topics. And we have more episodes coming along. So if you're interested in supporting our work, please visit our website and follow us on social media. And thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Ikra, for joining us. Stay informed, stay engaged, and continue to support us, our important causes. And until next time.